Dear viewers, welcome to my channel Just in Europe. My name is Nirbhay. In this episode, I am going to brief you about a small historical town in Czech Republic which has UNESCO World Heritage Site, attracts tourists, and many people believe that it should have been the capital of Czech Republic. If you are living in Czech Republic and looking for one-day destination, you must visit this town to see the unique bone-decorated church and silver mine from medieval time and other attractions of the town. People who visit Czech Republic for a week trip, they should also schedule their visit here. I am talking about Kutna Hora, which is just about 70 km east from Prague. Before I start telling you about how you can spend one day and visit 12 attractions of Kutna Hora, I request you to like the video and subscribe to my channel. We started our journey early in the morning from Brno Hlavní nádraží in České dráhy and reached to Kutna Hora. Just outside the train station, we boarded the bus number 802, rode for 2 stops and got down at Sedlec Kosnic bus stop and eventually reached to the first attraction site, Sedlec Ossuary. The Church of All Saints and Sedlec Ossuary was built in first half of the 14th century. In this church, bone materials are used as decoration elements. In second half of 13th century, monk of Sedlec Monastery discovered silver on monastery land. This discovery made the monastery rich and led to the founding of Kutna Hora. In 1318, 30,000 town residents were died of famine. After 30 years, almost another 30,000 died of plague pandemic. And in beginning of 15th century, during Hussite War, 10,000 people were killed. All these casualties were buried in Sedlec Cemetery. Due to various reasons, old graves were exhumed and collected bones were deposited in walls of lower chapel and later used for decoration in the form of pyramid, chandelier, coat of arms, etc. Second attraction of Kutna Hora is situated at Kutna Hora Kosnic bus stop and diagonally opposite to Information Center. This church was originally built in 12th century. On 24th April 1421, this Sedlec Cathedral was burned down by Hussite. Hussite were the follower of Jan Hus, who wanted reform in practice of churches, but was killed and led to the Hussite War. In 1995, this church got registration in UNESCO World Heritage List, and this is really beautiful. But hidden rich, a monk from this monastery traveled to Jerusalem and brought back the sacred soil from the field of blood to Sedlec, established the first holy field in Central Europe. You will find the skulls and remains of monks fixed in the wall of this church. These monks' remains were found in early of 18th century. These monks were murdered during Hussite War in 1421 when this cathedral was burned by a soldier of Jan Žižka against his command. Žižka killed that soldier for his act against his command by pouring melted silver in his throat. We boarded the public transport and got down at Kremnička for third attraction site of Kutna Hora, which is Saint Barbara Cathedral. Saint Barbara Cathedral was also registered as UNESCO Heritage in 1995 and is symbol of Kutna Hora now. The cathedral is dedicated to Virgin Barbara, invoked as a helper in need, an intercessor for a good death, and a patron of all who carry on a dangerous occupation, especially miners. It was in fact miners who contributed the most to the construction of the cathedral, which they dedicated to their holy protectress. Construction of this cathedral was started in 1388. In fact, this church is still incomplete. The original design of this church was much larger than the existing church. Saint Barbara Cathedral is gem of late Gothic period. In fact, Saint Barbara Cathedral is gallery of rare Gothic frescoes and the stone cutting art. Artists from all the periods have contributed to this church. So, when you visit this church, try to have a good time appreciating the work and art in this cathedral. You will get magnificent view from the upper floor of the cathedral. Therefore, don't miss to engage your legs climbing up to the upper floor. The fourth attraction of Kutna Hora, Corpus Christi Chapel, is located near the Cathedral of Saint Barbara. It was originally built as a charnel, which is a two-floor cemetery chapel. It is believed to have been established even before the construction of neighboring cathedral began. The lower floor of the chapel was used for respectful storage of bones, while the upper floor was intended to serve as the chapel for conducting church services for the deceased. However, it is uncertain whether the construction of the upper floor was ever completed. And as the completion of Cathedral of Saint Barbara approached, the chapel likely lost its significance. As it stands in close proximity to the magnificent Cathedral of Saint Barbara, contributing to the rich historical and architectural heritage of Kutna Hora. You can get a panoramic view of Jesuit College and the town from the terrace of Corpus Christi Chapel. Fifth attraction of Kutna Hora is statues on the terrace of Jesuit College. A beautiful walkway which connects Cathedral, Jesuit College and town. You will definitely enjoy crossing in front of statues on the walkway. After crossing the terrace of Jesuit College, we reached to Hradec for our sixth and most exciting attraction, that is tour of medieval silver mine.
They mined about 3,000 to 5,000 kilos of silver and later more copper up to 20,000 tons for the whole period they mined. And because there was a lot of rich deposits of the silver, Kutna Hora should have been the capital of Czech Republic, but unfortunately Prague beat us to it, so we became second.
Well, what you heard should not be surprising because this town was inhabited on the mine of silver. In this guided tour of silver mine, you will see the design of horse-driven wooden machine which was used to lift silver ores and water from the depth of mine and other equipments. You will get a chance to go inside the medieval mine and feel how workers were working in deep and narrow mines to dig silver and what were their challenges. Working in mine was risk of life. Therefore, In one shift, son and father were not going together. You will see the marks of digging equipment and carbon from their oil lamp on the wall, which are still existing. Visiting mine is not to miss activity, which most of tourists often miss doing this. Unfortunately, you will not get any silver there, but you will not regret. After the exciting tour of silver mine, we headed towards the town to explore the other attractions. But as we were starving, without lunch, nothing was possible. We had planned to have lunch in the Chichki restaurant. As we were hungry, we thought about eating in very first restaurant we found on the way. We found Cafe Harmonia in front of us, so we ended up having the best grilled chicken wings of our life. After lunch, we visited 7th attraction site, Italian Court. This was unique mint of Czech kings. There is Museum of Local Legends and Ghosts, Mystery of Lost Silver and Royal Palace. This was unique mint of Czech kings. You can have experience of minting process shown by minter in historical costume 360 days a year. The Church of St. James is the first stone church in Kutna Hora. Its construction was started in 1333 and was ready by 1336. It is the spiritual center of entire town since its establishment. The plague column was built between 1713 and 1715 in honor of God for eradicating plague in which thousands of people were died. This barrack structure is situated at old center of the town. The 10th tourist attraction of Kutna Hora is the stone fountain which was built around 1495. It's a late Gothic architecture built as a part of Kutna Hora's early water distribution system. Due to mining activity in Middle Age, water source of Kutna Hora was polluted. There was a shortage of drinking water. This dodecagon stone fountain was constructed as a reservoir into which drinking water was brought by wooden piping from a spring which was situated far away from the town. The 11th attraction of Kutna Hora is the stone house. This is one of the most important late Gothic structure in Europe. Tourists can see 2 exhibitions between April and November in this house. The 12th attraction of Kutna Hora is GASK Park, situated just beside St. Barbara Cathedral. You will find some peculiar sculpture in this park. We found Kutna Hora a must-visit place. If you are traveling here for one day by bus or train, please take care of your schedule. The frequency of buses from the town to the train station on Sunday is limited, and you need to finish your trip before the last bus departs from the town to main station.